Alright. Should be recording. Yep, I see the file. Yay, continuing in Going Medieval. To move my laptop a little bit. Just pulling closer to me so I can tip it back. But yes, Going Medieval. Q survived by Tinsley PR. And I am just a little blah blah with my brain at the moment. Because I quickly checked something. Which I'm glad to see the change. I have to rewrite the news a little bit. So the main thing that I put down that's video game related. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm working on that, aren't I? What do you say is the problem? Not enough of those. What are they? I mean, I know what they are, but where are they? Yeah, I do want to. Yeah, you're just being weird. Anyway. See? There you go. So the main thing that I have in my news is that, anyway, is, Fallout London is finally out. So this is a mod for Fallout 4. There certainly should be plenty of resources for that. But yeah, it's a mod for Fallout 4 that has an interesting kind of story to it at the moment. So it's a total conversion mod, and it is, as the name suggests, and it is a mod. It puts you in London as opposed to, I think every Fallout has been in one location of America or another. I'm not sure about Fallout 1 and 2, but 3 was in DC. New Vegas was in Las Vegas. Or at least that was part of it. It was larger than just Vegas. I don't remember where 76 or 4 are set, but I believe... No, one of those two was in Boston. The Boston area, at least. I just realized that I actually could do this. It would make some sense to do. I can. Why not? Why not connect them that way? Because that way it does give access to a second floor here. Although I would actually need to connect it in more ways than that. Like that. Anyway, I'm gonna turn that off for now as well. And actually, I can... No, come on. Let me... But very high. Let me do that. They should have a sync priority or sync intensity button as well. But anyway. So one thing kind of interesting with Fallout London Mob, it is a total mod. It is a total conversion mod, which has certain consequences there. One is that you cannot, once you install that, if you want to go back to the Fallout 4 base game, you need to completely uninstall all of it and then reinstall. Which, I don't know, maybe they will make some changes to that in the future. But here's something that's more interesting. Because it is so large, there is a reference to it being 33 gig, 34 gig, but that's also the size of Fallout 4, so I'm not sure if that's accurate. Sorry, but I'm not. Because it might just be referencing the base game. Okay, yes, that needs to be built. Just turn those all off for the moment. My brain is turning off a little bit. But because of its massive size, and maybe it is 33 gig, I'm just not sure. It can't be hosted on various popular mod sites. It's funny, in one spot I saw somebody saying that, yeah, it would just take weeks to download from Nexus, which is like the biggest. And to be fair to places like that, a lot of mods are going to be, probably a lot of mods for this are basically just going to be text files. So you need just storage more so than bandwidth, because even at a few hundred K upload that they can send out from their servers, upload from their servers, that's still a few hundred K for just text files would be fine. Why are you stunted? None of you should be stunted. Hang on. Thank you. Great timing there. Okay. Yeah, turn that down so now even mining can be done. Although I don't think I have anything scheduled for mining, so I actually leave it there. But, yeah, do that, because then hopefully they will run over and start taking care of this stuff. Oh, hey. There. Okay. Oh, wow. I don't know why the... Oh, you know what? No, I might actually know why. But why is, like, nobody doing what they should be doing? Hang on. Oh, there. That's why. See, this is why they need to not have it be this way. They really need cut plants to be merged with harvest. In fact, even grow. Just agriculture in general. Why is that separated like that? But yeah, it's... What do you... It's like they need to manage this. Like, this is the highest priority crop at the moment, because this is where we'll get the hay that I do need for various things. That actually would be kind of nice to get to. Anyway, so coming back to the whole, because of the size of Fallout London, they have partnered the group behind the mod that they've been working on it, I think it said over 5 years. They partnered with GOG. So GOG is actually hosting it because they can host such large files. And one thing that's weird, and this I need to update what I wrote. When they first put it up, it was as a giveaway, but it's like, isn't it free? I was like, it even is referenced to being free in the description of the thing. So it's like, what's the giveaway for? Well, it is no longer a giveaway. I wrote the thing up Thursday evening. I'm recording this. For me, this is Friday. The video comes out tomorrow, though, Saturday. But it does now say, well, it doesn't mark it as a giveaway, just as free. So yeah, I'm not sure why it was like that. And the giveaway wasn't up. It was supposed to go until like the start of August. So it's not like the giveaway is just already ended. No, it most likely was an error that it was a giveaway at all. Okay, that's a steward thing. So there. So now hopefully they will end up taking care of this. Maybe. You know, it just occurred to me, one issue with doing this stuff is, like, right now, 13, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I've only got 5 people doing things. Which is still about half, I guess, so it's not that bad, but... Okay, seriously, can somebody do the damn job? What are you doing? No, you're not supposed to be doing construction. There. Wait, what? Why is that under animal husbandry? That's a steward type job. It's also taming, training, slaughtering, roping, releasing, and harvesting resources from animals. But I mean, it legitimately says their job animal husbandry. No, that's steward. I'm saying that It shouldn't be steward. It should be chores. I'm sorry. I think chores would be a clear way. But it's like, that's exactly what that... Wow! I am certain at one point I learned it was steward, not animal husbandry. But steward is what makes the most sense. Because this is barely a different behavior from going around and putting more fuel into these things. So, yeah, I do not know why they think that's animal. I mean, I get the whole you're taking care of animals. But what it describes for animal husbandry here, taming, training, slaughtering technically is in there. Roping, well, that's kind of part of the others. Releasing and harvesting resources from animals. Harvesting the resources, I don't know. I don't know. I could see an argument that's not necessarily under husbandry. Like milking a cow is not necessarily under husbandry. Not that I'm an expert with this stuff, but that's... If somebody who knew better would it, like, that actually does, like, yes, that is part of animal husbandry, okay, I believe you. But it doesn't quite, to me, like, what is animal husbandry? I think that more is just managing the animals, generally speaking. So, like, you know, the taming and such, training, that all makes sense. And also the breeding of animals, which is not specified here. But harvesting resources from them, that's not what I think of for that. But yeah, wow, I did not... No wonder they've been going hungry. At least they are getting some attention now. Where's the bard? Where's the merchant? He's still coming. I figure the bard makes the most sense to trade. Be the one trading. Really? Well, anyway, animal husbandry is taken care of now. Let's turn those back up. Wait, why are they... Okay, they're just not intellectuals, yeah. But it is also, I just want to point out, look at how ugly this is. I was like, we've got these different colors, we've got the number, but we've got the different colors to the frames. That some of them, I mean, between these two, yes, there is a difference, I can see that. I can believe my dad couldn't. He's colorblind, just for that context. But it's like, I could see that, but it's like, that's not the clearest. It's also, look, because, you know, the numbers themselves have different colors. You've got the star things. I mean, this is really a terrible design. I'm sorry. I know I've been complaining about it before, but that's more function. This is like literally the UI is hideous. Okay, it is way too. It is just sheer information overload. Sheer information overload because of the different colors and such. And it's like, I get, like, if you did all this, but it was like, yeah, going over to about here. Hey, I'm trying to remember. Do you see my cursor? I think you do. I just want to. Yes, you can't see my cursor. Going over to about here, it wouldn't be so bad. But we're all the way over there. Yeah, this is way too much. It's way too busy. Okay, oh, well, I guess he's gonna sleep. Yeah, what would it take to promote? A wall mirror and a wall... Oh, yeah, that's right, Where are the wall mirrors? That's silvering, that's down here. And once this actually gets built, I might be able to do something to help with that. Sometimes there is wild grass out here, and I know I've been distracted again from Fog London and stuff. Which is something important. As I did say, Fog London, it is on GOG, but it is free, and they are hosting. I'm not sure how much you need. You might need an account with them, but then also, as I recall, you needed an account at least for some stuff with Nexus. I do not see any just wild grass around. Okay, yeah, well, that's technically what I'm looking for, but it's too young. Come on. So naturally we'll work with the GOG version. It's also two reasons for that. It can work with Steam. The Steam version, though, there's a catch. So apparently there was like a next-gen update for the game. The mod doesn't work with that, so you need to downgrade it on Steam. GOG is already giving you the next-gen update. And they are also working, the mod team is also working on getting it, is working on compatibility with the, see, the animals are all happy now. They are working on making it compatible with the update. Okay, goats, sheep. You know what? Let's see what happens. Because in theory, that should cause them to have to bring them over. Okay, once he's no longer hungry, I'm gonna have him. Let's barter. Okay. Is it this? Okay. Actually, I would like that. It really should say how many you have free. Okay, and at that point now I'm out. Alright, so what all can I sell to him? I guess I should just do it this way. Yeah, I don't want to sell. Yeah, I see. I don't want to do it that way even for that reason. I want it sorted this way. Yeah, this is another spot where if they had better sorting controls, filtering controls too would be nice, but if they had better ones, I would be quite happy. I'll just try to make sure I make more later. But it is also, they shouldn't need them. And I think it is, yeah, it's set to just make so many. We'll always have so many, which that is so many in storage. It's not so many in existence. Definitely get rid of those. I have 9, don't I? So yeah, definitely get rid of those because I shouldn't need them. I shouldn't need a lot of these. I could give. Wow, I could give lots of. Oh, and wait, how did I? Alright, whatever. Is that I shouldn't need any of them. Wait, I'm buying one? Oh no. Sorry, I'm not buying. The hats I am less certain of. Although I think yeah, we can get rid of the flimsy. That shouldn't. Okay. No, maybe I don't need all those mechanical components. Just need to find where the hell do that. Here we go. That's not so bad. Okay. Wait, what? Okay. You know, I was at least close. So I'll empty out a lot. So yeah, I was explaining. Now there is, so with Steam, you need to downgrade Fallout 4, and is the Game of the Year edition. You do need to downgrade it. You don't need to do that with GOG, because they're already on that. There are steps for doing so, that for doing the downgrade, that are at, if you go to the to GOG to find Fallout London, it's currently promoted on the main page, on the home page. If you go there, you can find the instructions. Mainly, you'll be given a, you can follow a link to the thing's main page, to the mod's main page. You can then use that to get the instructions for how to download. It is somewhat involved, and I was seeing some people complaining about apparently you there's one way to do it that apparently like need to give it your username and password for Steam so they can like verify that you have the game properly. Is I saw one person speculating, but I will grant, yeah, I'm okay. I understand people being uncomfortable with that. Apparently there are manual instructions as well that are more advanced that you wouldn't then need to do that. There is also you can just wait. They are working on, I'm pretty sure I already said, they are working on updating the mod to work with the newer version. So waiting is also an option. Or, it's just, if you, yeah, I don't have Fallout, at least I'm pretty sure I don't have Fallout 4 anywhere. So what, I would just buy it on GOG in this case. I don't care a lot one way or the other. I mean, don't get me wrong, I appreciate Fallout 3 and New Vegas, but I don't really care. No Bethesda RPG is really my thing. And it's like, I played Oblivion. I understand liking Oblivion. I do. Skyrim, I understand why people like Oblivion better than Skyrim. But it is just, the Bethesda RPG design is not what I really like, where it's like, I'm here. Streets of Rogue? Is that it? That indie game that's coming out where you can basically just ignore the main mission and do other stuff, that's one thing. But with Bethesda RPGs, where it's like you can just end up going down entire other campaigns that have nothing to do with the main one and forget that it's even there. I don't like that design. I don't. So, yeah, I mean, just... And it's also, I still remember when finishing New Vegas. Now, true, that was Obsidian, not Bethesda. Wait, what? Did not realize that was like that. Anyway, I didn't have a step there. Anyway, I remember being annoyed when that ended because it was a reference to the Enclave. It's like I saw nothing about the Enclave in the game. Like, if anything, I would have been like, they should have not even had the Enclave mentioned in the end of that, in the cutscenes in the credits, because like I had no clue what the hell it was talking about. Just none. Why somebody should have started moving these guys. I mean, I guess if I bump it up, they'll do it, but you've been building? No. Wow. Okay, you know what? Did you seriously just take the job and then decide, no, I'm not doing it? It went straight to that. Wow. I'm sorry, I'm rejecting that I don't have one more piece of hay, so. I'm just rejecting that. I think that's absurd. But I also don't see it listed here, so it might be true. That is just annoying, then. And what are you annoyed by? You're currently sleeping anyway. Okay, there's no reason for anyone to be eating raw food. I'm just saying. You know what? Let me... Let's do this. Everybody just has to have a meal. I don't actually know what that comprises because they don't exactly tell you? I mean, is it just... Okay, so it looks like... What is under raw? What is under raw? Okay, that's not true. Smoked meat should not be considered raw. It never seems like when I eat it. Okay, I'm confused now by that this force equip. But they can do whatever with that. I don't care. With the hats, it's set to all. They can change that on their own. Sorry, now I'm just focusing back on... At least trying to focus back on the game. Okay, so yes, let's see how this goes. Ah, son of a... I just realized that. Oh, son of... Oh, that's why. That's why, because those are filled up. You got anything? Oh, all the cattle are trained? What? How did that happen? Huh, I did not realize that all my cattle were trained. Okay. In which case, then, should be able to do that. Which will then take the hay out and make it available to others. I'll even do it with this one, too. Okay, there. So now I've got an allowed resource. Good. They are moving this stuff. Perfect. So that is freeing up so much. No, just... I mean, I don't think I need to worry about them falling, right? That would be awkward. What do you do? Good, you are gonna put stuff in there. That's what I want to see. Of course, it's animal feed, which is different, but whatever. Oh, boy. Now, is this gonna... Not yet. Here. Oh, come on. How are there not enough allowed resources? Just guessing I turned those off without issue. They could also use selection filters. You know, kind of like the whole marking, being able to say, yes, if it's a dead tree that's out here, chop it down. But also something where it's like, yeah, just, I want all the clay here. Ignore the normal earth or all the salt here. That's a lot of salt. I'm actually kind of tempted to just flatten this out and get that salt that way. Hey, how long have I been going? About half an hour. That's fine. I do have two more things I can talk about, but yeah, just trying to. No, I really did say everything concerning Fallout London. That it's basically in. It looks like in better shape now than it was yesterday, from my perspective. That is just, yes, it is free. Um, it is a total conversion mod such that if you use it, you will need to uninstall the base game and the mod completely if you want to go back to the original. It also does mention you should probably disable your cloud saves because all the saves get put in the same place. But yeah, and it is currently a process to get it working on Steam, but the GOG version is there as well that you can always get, and importantly, hey, failed to mention this. The GOG version is of the game, the GOTY, the Game of the Year edition, is currently on sale at 60% off. I think was it $15 or $16? $16. It was actually at 10, it looks like, during their summer sale. So if you picked it up then, you'd be in better shape. It is not on sale on Steam, but this sale goes until August 2nd. So you got time to decide if you want to do this or not. As I said, Bethesda RPGs aren't really my thing. So yeah. I mean, I do enjoy expansive RPGs. It's been a while since, like, KOTOR I'm thinking of, or Dragon Age Origins. It's been a while since I played those, but those I really enjoyed. And that's, yes, they are expansive. There's a lot there, but it's not the you can forget what you're doing entirely kind of thing. I want to say that's even the case with The Witcher 3. I mean, it's like the Bloody Baron side campaign in that's not a side quest, that's a side campaign. It was a great side campaign. I loved that. But I will grant, I don't recall forgetting what the main thing was. Like, I never left the main campaign. My focus just changed. Son of a bitch. How do I prevent that? Can I prevent it? That likely won't help, but it might also. It isn't a bad design to have it there either, so. Also throw them up here. Yeah, I got nothing more for the Fallout London thing. It is neat to see that you are still getting that, people doing that kind of work, though. I mean, I will admit, because there's various games that I don't take on, like the Bethesda RPGs. What the heck? Son of a bitch. I thought they fixed that. Apparently not. You know what? Whatever. I'm not even gonna be upset with that. Actually, you know what? There. You like this stuff, so you do. That works too. That is just inappropriate. I'm sorry, and the reserved bar. I mean, come on, they need to not have that. It is so stupid. It is so stupid. I mean, at least I got this fixed, but that's still stupid. Anyway, I do have a couple of things to talk about, but I am kind of thinking, I mean, I'd really like it if I could get that bed built first before I stop. But I think both those I'll just leave for after this. That is true. The wolves are not coming up here, so that is good. The heck? Oh, okay. I was like, what was that? Okay, there. Okay. I have no idea how to make that though. Not there. Blacksmith's forge, isn't that? Oh no, that's almost. Where is my blacksmith's forge? I know I have one. Just don't remember where. Oh, man. I took that apart because I wanted to move it, and then I oh wait, oh perfect. Because I wanted to move it and even put in a second one. Like that. Well, maybe. Well. But that's exactly what happened there. Perfect. I was in fact gonna make her do this. If they're loose items, then yes, they should in fact. It would be like that. There. No work, of course not. Alright. So yeah, the other two things are more science stuff. One positive, one I'm gonna rant on. Let's start with the positive one. This one is from Berkeley Lab. They did something pretty neat. So a lot of okay. The funny thing is, I actually did some not exactly research, like just reading through various things. Not that long ago for something a different video I made, not for this channel though. Concerning the elements and heavy elements. And something kind of neat is no element above lead has a stable isotope. Okay, that this is kind of relevant. And generally speaking, the heavier the element, the less likely. Well, isotopes with a measure of stability become less and less likely. So it's like, uranium does have some isotopes that are stable, as in their half-life. Well, not stable, but have half-lives that are in the millions, even billions of years. But definitely as you go above uranium, and uranium is the... Well, actually, hang on. I did see something suggesting that neptunium, which is above uranium, then plutonium, which is above that, technically can be formed by natural processes. But I also see them being described as no, uranium is the heaviest element produced by normal nucleosynthesis methods, meaning stars go boom. I mean, it's basically that's how that works. But that that neptunium and plutonium don't really get made that way, or maybe they do, but it's just they don't last very long. Plutonium is made by natural processes with uranium, but it's like we caused that to happen. So anyway. To go above that, and there's a number of elements above those that we have found, you need to manufacture them. And a way to do that is you basically have a target of a heavy element, and then you shoot a beam at it of a lighter element, hoping that the nucleus of the beam, the atoms in the beam, collide with the nuclei in the target, and then they fuse instead of the beam just bouncing off. The atoms from the beam bouncing off, or them hitting the target nuclei so hard it just shatters them. So you do need to tune this just right. And apparently, what the beam used, like when the heaviest beam is used, uses a calcium isotope. So as I mentioned, and I need to explain this, as I said, sorry, it's one of those, I'm like juggling between multiple thoughts trying to get them coherent. There's a concept of magic numbers with atomic nuclei. The correct number of protons and the correct number of neutrons will be more stable than others. Okay? Calcium-48 is a specific isotope that is such a magic number, which makes it ideal for working with beams because it is very stable. What Berkeley Lab did is they bumped it up from calcium-48 to titanium-50, which has an extra 2 protons. But I think 28 neutrons. I think calcium-48 would also. Well, actually, yes. So calcium-48 would also have 28 neutrons, but only 20 protons. Calcium is 20, titanium is 22. So they decided to see if they could work with a titanium beam, because it being heavier means that if you get fusion successfully, you will produce heavier elements. So this is a big deal. But especially because titanium-50 is not a magic number isotope, so it is less stable. But they were able to prove its viability by creating a titanium beam that was aimed at... No, that's not it. I want to make sure I get it right. They have nice graphics that help me find it. They aimed it at plutonium-244, which is 94 protons, which defines it being plutonium, and 150 neutrons. They aimed the titanium-50 beam at it, did manage to get fusion, but I don't remember where it was. They only made, I think it was like 2 atoms that they made of the fused material, which is element 116 livermorium, named for Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory. There is a berkelium, what was that, 96, I think, that is named for Berkeley, California, where Berkeley Lab is, but it was apparently University of California at Berkeley that actually made it. And anyway, it's just kind of funny. I found it a little funny that Berkeley Lab is making the Lawrence Livermore element. But anyhow, they aimed titanium-50 at plutonium-244 and got livermorium 294, but then it apparently decayed down to 290. But that's element 116. Now, so by achieving this, they showed, hey, titanium-50 is viable. The reason why this is important is, remember the magic numbers I talked about? The whole getting the right number of protons and neutrons? Generally speaking, what I said is true. As protons and neutrons go up, heavier and heavier elements, or rather isotopes, become less stable. But there is a predicted area called the island of stability that is within the super heavy elements that in theory will be more stable than the elements around it, than the isotopes around it. How stable, I don't think we know yet. And this is part of what I was looking at not that long ago. It doesn't seem like it means that they would be stable, but it, like lead is, where lead just exists. It does not decay. But it's still, even if it was stable on the order of, say, uranium, that's still a very heavy element, much heavier than uranium, that could last for millions or billions of years. That's actually would be a significant achievement. Now, as I recall what I was seeing when I was looking that stuff up, the island of stability was either going to be like around element 114, which we're already at, and apparently I guess that's not it. The research I was seeing was old, or maybe we haven't gotten the right isotope yet. Or I think I was seeing around like 127, or maybe I have the single values wrong. Maybe it was 117 and then 124. But in any case, this achievement suggests a path to getting to element 120, which is getting closer to the island of stability. And if they can get all the way there, that it could really help settle certain things about the physics of atomic nuclei, but also may allow some other things. But yeah, in order to get to element 120, their plan is to take the titanium-50 and aim it at californium-249. Californium is element 98, and they do actually point out in the Berkeley Lab article, and I do have this in the Friday write-up, by the way, californium is like the heaviest target you can go to. If you go higher than that, the materials are so unstable that even if you had enough, they likely wouldn't last long enough to be viable. It's like, just to make the element 116, working with plutonium. And plutonium can be, kind of somewhat stable. They worked for, I think they said 22 days to get the 2 samples, so it took weeks. And this, it just coincidentally, I have it here. Once started, considering the work to get into element 120, once started, it could take several years to see just a few atoms of element 120 if it appears at all. Just to give you an idea of how unlikely it is for some of this to happen. Okay, I was like, this is, so you want the most stable target you can have. That'll still get you there. I do wonder if they will ever try to see about like using multiple beams. I don't know how viable that would be, but that would be awesome if they managed. So yeah, it is definitely a neat thing. And just to give a little bit of the explanation of why I was looking at some of this stuff a few weeks ago, it occurred to me when watching science fiction stuff that a lot of that introduces some new element. And it occurred to me, wait a minute, these new elements wouldn't be stable. It's like, I've been watching through Stargate SG-1. Don't get me wrong, I love Stargate SG-1. I recommend all that. But one thing that they talk about there is this new element, Nequadria. Wait, Naquita. Sorry, Nequadria is an isotope of it. Naquita. And they make reference to, like, the Stargates in there are made of this. It's like, for that to be a new element, which is what they describe it as, it would have to be, like, in these super heavy elements, which are unstable. They also describe the Stargates as being millions of years old. Which would mean, then, that half the Stargates should have decayed away to nothing because they're decayed down to potentially lead, which would mean they wouldn't function anymore because the properties of Naquita make it function. I mean, just kind of funny. But I realize that is something in science fiction that is so often done. It's like, oh, it's a new element. It's like, that can't be right. Anyway, sorry, just that was a fun thing to do a little reading on and start ranting about. But yeah, this is work though that is potentially going to get us to the point that we will manufacture materials, likely only ever in small quantities. But if we can get into the island of stability, even if they are not completely stable, there's still a lot that we may discover from them that would be viable, that would be useful. Personally, I would doubt that we will ever see practical uses for any of it, because of the difficulty to produce the materials and all the elements, and also that, I mean, they are intrinsically unstable. I mean, I guess maybe the best, if you could make it very efficient, is use it as a new fissile material instead of uranium. But maybe also some like medical isotope kind of stuff. But it's not like you'd ever build ships out of these. I mean, it's like, no, that's off the table because it's an inherently unstable material. And do you really want to be walking around in a ship that you know the walls are emitting radiation? I mean, that doesn't seem the smartest thing. So there's that. Now, the other thing that's more of a rant, because this is just really cool to me. MIT, I saw a piece from them that's like, okay, whoever wrote this shouldn't be allowed to write these science things. And this I didn't put in the Friday write-up because it's just, I would have started ranting and it's not appropriate for that context. Here, sure. So they apparently found that if you take aluminum, pure aluminum, and coat it with some chemical that is based on a heavy metal and put it in seawater, although they do also reference it being filtered seawater, it will produce hydrogen. It will cause the hydrogen to pull off of the oxygen in the water so then you have hydrogen gas and can do something with it. Which is neat, because they do want to use hydrogen fuel for various things. It is funny, just the whole, oh, you want us to start putting it in cars? And it's like, do we now remember the Hindenburg? It's like, do we really want a whole bunch of small Hindenburgs? And to be fair, I think you might be able to redo airships with hydrogen. You might be able to do it safely, but it's like, let's spend decades working on that, getting that right, and not just pumping this into cars. Anyway, where you expect collisions to happen. Anyhow, the press release, though, that they had for it, the person who was writing was talking about how, oh yeah, the aluminum from soda cans, it can be used. It's like, no, it can't. Because the release does talk about it being pure aluminum. We don't use pure aluminum for soda cans. They are alloys. In fact, I looked it up. The soda can body is aluminum 3004. The lid is aluminum 5182. The pull tab is aluminum 5042. Those are just references to alloys. I have no idea what that means. Like if that is a specific reference or if it's just a code number. Well, hold on. I shouldn't say code number. Code number would mean that is saying like, it's this much of this element, that much of that element makes it. No. It would just be a unique number, an ID number. Code number to me does imply there's information encoded in there. That might not be the case here, I don't know. But still, those are alloys. It references using pure aluminum. Now, I get the whole wanting to make it relatable, but it still is. You can't say, and here, let me just pull it up, because I should be able to. Yeah, a recipe for zero emissions fuel. Soda cans, seawater, and caffeine. Because they also found they threw in, it's actually not caffeine, is the funny thing. Yeah, that's true. They completely lie about that. They threw coffee grounds into the mix and found that it started going much faster. It's a specific chemical in there. It's not caffeine, though. I don't remember what it was. I need to find this now. Okay, sorry. Correction. It's an ingredient in caffeine. In the end, the team discovered that low concentration of imidazole, imidazole, an active ingredient in caffeine, is enough to significantly speed up the reaction. And yeah, they were talking about how, yeah, we got as much hydrogen in 5 minutes as 2 hours before. But hang on, I gotta check something, because that doesn't make sense. Caffeine is a molecule. What do you mean an ingredient? Like, isn't caffeine a straight molecule? I think I'm just seeing an image here, but it does have off of some nitrogen. It does show just a line going out, but that might be shorthand. Especially because when they have, I'm just looking at the Wikipedia thing. When they have those same bars going out, they do then show. Yeah, it's just not showing. It's not okay. No. I think I see. Yeah, it's shorthand. It must be shorthand, with the lines just going out. That's going to carbon that then has hydrogen bound to it, in a traditional way. But it's because there's definitely carbon in caffeine, right? Where's the actual formula? Yeah, carbon 8, but it's actually not in the model that's showing here. But yeah, so that's just shorthand that they're not showing carbon, because carbon is used in so many things, it makes sense to not always show it. So yes, it is a molecule. So there isn't a low concentration of, I can't pronounce it, an active ingredient in caffeine is nonsense. Caffeine is a molecule. I mean, it could be a component of it, like caffeine is comprised of that with other things, with another thing attached to it, and looking at the model, I just like need to turn it a little bit. Yeah, no, it is like the model that is being shown for graphene on Wikipedia. The right half of it is that other molecule, so there are like things bound onto it. But still, that I would now true. It's been a long time since I took chemistry. I would never describe it as an active ingredient in caffeine, because it implies graphene is something complex. It's multiple compounds. It is a compound. So I've never described it as that. Hang on, let me see. No, true, it's Wikipedia. Okay. I'm just looking. The Wikipedia does have the term, that word for the other molecule in here, but oh, it appears twice. All right. Yeah, it contains the xanthine core of caffeine. I have no idea what xanthine is referring to. I don't recall that term. Contains 2 fused rings. I'm not even attempting that one, and another that is this other molecule. Base fan of most humans. Oh, okay. Okay, so it's just referring to like a common structure that you see in various organic molecules. Got it. This xanthine core thing. Um, so yeah, this is basically what they're referring to is the two fused rings. That's the two, basically these also found as separate molecules that they are combined together, giving us caffeine. Um, but it still is. This is. It does not make sense to me. Okay, if I were a high school science teacher and somebody wrote that, unless I am very wrong, okay? If someone who wrote that this other molecule is an active ingredient in the molecule caffeine, I would take points off. Because from my understanding of chemistry, and it could be wrong, I'll grant, it could be wrong, that's not how it works. So this is why I said this would be a rant, okay? Because it's of stuff like this. And I'd much rather use a different S word right there than stuff. But it's like that, and it's like referring to soda cans. It's not soda cans. Okay, it isn't. It is pure aluminum, which is different. I'm now also wondering, with this, are they... I'm just... It would make sense if it is this other molecule, unless that molecule is very unstable, that you would just use that. I don't know. I'm just trying to think, why are they... Either it is when they threw it in, they found that there was some reaction with the caffeine, and when they started digging into it, they found it was specifically this portion of it. Because it gets the right side of caffeine in that model that I was talking about on Wikipedia. It's the right side of that. So, and it does have external portions, so it is part of what combined two other things. So it might be that the part that combined is what would cause that to happen just from caffeine. But maybe they found that, split off, that's all you need. So I'm just now kind of wondering how that... I'm trying to decide, does it make sense that they would have the caffeine, just use straight caffeine because there's enough binding, or by them mentioning that it's a specific portion, that means it is the more effective portion, but it is not an active ingredient. It's a component of caffeine. Yeah, it just... Okay, hang on. The next paragraph was talking about how they made a small reactor. Oh, no, sorry. They're developing a small reactor that could run on a marine vessel or underwater vehicle. Could hold a supply of aluminum pellets. Yeah, recycled from old soda cans and other aluminum products. Not quite. I mean, it's like, technically, yes, it is recycling, but you would need to de-alloy them. Definitely doable. Definitely doable. In fact, it might be easier to do with aluminum than some things. Because aluminum is the most common metal in the Earth's crust. But it was centuries between its discovery and the ability to mass produce it, because it needs to be mass produced by electrolysis. It is that highly reactive that, unlike iron ore, you can get that out and you heat it up, you can get rid of the oxide scale and such. You can't do that with aluminum. That's why the cap of the Washington Monument is aluminum, because it was a sign of strength and power to have that. But also Napoleon, when he would have like a dinner party, his guests would eat on plates of gold. The emperor would eat on a plate of aluminum, which I know some people that would set their teeth on edge. But it's because aluminum was that much more valuable than gold. It would even at that time been more valuable than platinum because it was that hard to produce. But then I think it was in the 50s or 60s that we figured out how to do electrolysis to produce it in large quantities. But I could see that because of how that works, and it does pull out the pure aluminum, I could see that making it very efficient. But it still is. This isn't like we're just, melting it down a whole bunch, separating the pieces of the aluminum can, melting it down to reforge it into a new sheet of that aluminum alloy. You have to de-alloy it for this. So yeah, I don't like I get the whole, hey, everybody knows soda cans, but it's like, there's so much more involved here, and you're not working with soda cans, you're working with pure aluminum. That I don't like them referencing that consistently. Like, they're constantly doing that. It's not like it's pure aluminum, aluminum from cans, although that's an alloy, you'd have to do this. It's like, hey, soda can. It's like, We also know aluminum, right? People do know what that is. Anyway, along with a small amount of gallium indium, that must be the heavy metal element that was the heavy metal compound that was also talking about, and caffeine. So okay, so that does suggest then that either this other thing, this component of caffeine, I keep wanting to say graphene, that either means that this component of caffeine is unstable on its own, but caffeine is more stable, or that it is just this is the portion of it that is what's actually this is the portion of caffeine that's actually causing it to happen. But if that's the case, I'm not mentioning it in a press release because that's irrelevant. I mean, I get the whole share this interesting bit of information there, but it's still it's the caffeine that's doing it's a portion of the caffeine, but you don't need to. I mean, it's like in the end, the team discovered the low concentration. This is a paragraph all on its own. A low concentration of imidazole, an active ingredient in caffeine, is enough to significantly speed up the reaction, producing the same amount of hydrogen in just 5 minutes compared to 2 hours without the added stimulant. That's all one sentence, but one paragraph. That puts such a focus on the specific component of caffeine. It is such a strong focus there that it's like, oh, that's what's important. But then you see that, no, we're just using the straight caffeine. Okay, then should be the team discovered that that there's a component of caffeine called this that when the caffeine is present significantly speeds up. It's like the focus should be on the caffeine there, not this sub portion of it that is not an active ingredient. I'm saying here, active ingredient is like you read what's in your energy drink. Active ingredients are the stuff in there that you're actually going to notice that actually have an impact. Caffeine would be on the list. This would not be. All right, this is not an active ingredient by that. So I don't know why. I really hate that they're doing that. Whoever wrote this, and I might be able to see who. I'm not gonna look. I'm not gonna do that to them. But it's just, this is a very poorly written item. And I've seen other stuff like this. I get physics. I haven't looked at the most recent one, but I get like Physics Today. Hang on, which is an actual magazine that is printed and sent to me. And hang on, let me actually grab mine. Because I have it right here. I haven't looked at it, but some of it is actually interesting. But in the previous months, I saw some where it's like, yeah, whoever wrote this has very little idea what they're talking about. And the editors should have caught and be like, no, rewrite that. That doesn't make any sense. Because like one of the things was in last month's was trying to claim that energy usage in the United States has not gone up for 15 years. It's like, okay, that is just false. There's no way in hell that's the case. Our population has been growing by one means or another, and as population grows, so does energy requirements. We also had the pandemic during that time, when a lot of people were now at home. That also hugely increased energy usage, because a single like office building is going to use, where everyone is there working, can be more efficient than hundreds or thousands of houses that now have to be not only running your computers that may have been off during the day, because guess what? A lot of stuff at those office buildings was still running. But it's also, now you also need your AC unit running, your heater running, your fans running, your lights running. All these things are normally off during the day. And as I just said, a lot of stuff at the office buildings would still have been on. Plus, you also saw people now gaming more. So they're doing more work with their computers. Even if it's something basic like Among Us. Among Us really caught on during that time. It's still, you're now activating that so much more. You're also going to be using the internet more because you're having to communicate there. So that's hitting power usage both on your devices, your network, your router, your modem, then your ISPs, servers. Like, all of that is being hit more. All of that is taking more energy. There is no way you can actually claim. It's like, I mean, it was literally the first sentence in the thing. It's like, energy usage hasn't increased for 15 years. It's like, this is false. And I couldn't read the rest of it. And it's like, I don't know how that could have gotten through any editing, because it's like, and even if somebody's like, well, no, here's the data that shows that we actually has increased. And you know what? Here, let me try looking up energy usage in the United States. I mean, it's one of those, it is so implausible to me, I consider it a false statement. Oh, this is not necessarily. ideal because in trying to look up just energy usage in the U.S. Uh, that seems that no way seems right. Hang on, that's confusing. I want to see. Can I get like the actual graph? I'm seeing one thing here that is actually trying to claim that it has been decreasing, which makes no sense to that be it. I don't know. Okay, so yeah, primary energy consumption in the U.S. from '98 to 2023. Okay, hmm. No, it actually does look like it. The trend is more so flat. There were some years where it was lower. That's weird. That it's actually suggesting that. Well, the pandemic would not have lowered energy usage quickly because the office buildings would still have been open, and some buildings you keep running your HVAC or boiler. You run that all year round. Actually, it's more efficient to do it that way. I'm completely serious. It can be that's why some buildings, like I know the college I went to, the boiler would turn on at much earlier than you think. It's because some of these technologies were developed with the expectation of them running for extended periods of time. Um, where like you'd have the boiler going for months. The thing is that it takes a while for it to heat up, so that takes a lot of energy to go. But then once it's going, it's very efficient if you keep it going. I think it's also halogen lights are like that, where to turn them on takes a lot of energy, which is why for like warehouses that may use large halogens, even if the warehouse isn't used overnight, you leave the lights on because that will use less energy than if you turn them off and turn them back on in the morning when people arrive. That turning it on takes so much energy. And there can be other things like that to buildings. So just turning off a building, then turning it back on, especially because you may still have a few people coming in. It's like that wouldn't make sense. But this doesn't seem quite right. Yeah, and it peaked in 2007. It says. Sanjos being okay. Primary energy refers to energy harvested directly from natural resources before being transformed into electricity or other secondary or tertiary energy forms. It includes both fossil fuels and renewable resources. I'm hoping that they do mean to include nuclear in that. But that doesn't make sense because what would have happened in 2008 that would have caused a drop in the average? Because it is actually really stable looking at this graph. It still is. I don't. The article in that Physics Today that started with that, which also wasn't specifically relevant, was talking about the benefits to changing uh, power lines, changing the material there to be more efficient. Because it's one of those funny things. Actually, power transmission is very efficient. Most of the loss in power transition is in the last mile. So like actually getting from the main power lines to what is running to a neighborhood to what is then running down your street to what is then running to your house. That's where my understanding is a lot of the energy is lost in the transmission, but it still is. If you can improve it in some places, improve it. Um, yeah, that is weird because like 2007, 2008, 2000. Wait a minute. Would that have been the economic? Oh, wait a minute. That might be the explanation. When was the crash? The Great Recession, was that in 2008? Because with that, a lot of manufacturing shut down. That would have actually, and it's now returned, that would lower the average for the nation. Was that then? I don't know, and I don't feel like trying to look that up right now because I'm already going long. That would explain it. If that's what happened then. It still is. I don't know. The claim makes no... I mean, this is wild to me. It doesn't make sense to me that it would be like that. But if that's what it was... I mean, definitely the loss of manufacturing did occur during that time. No, the recession was more so 2010, wasn't it? And 11? Because I graduated in 11 and I got hit by some of that. And it's also true the Great Recession lasted for a long time. So it may have started earlier. But yeah, so that could explain it. But in any case, it's still, that was poor. That was not the thing to start with because it made no sense. I still don't think this makes sense. I'm only now thinking about, oh yeah, there was that. That might explain it. But that's the kind of massive things it would take. The pandemic lowering energy usage, that makes no sense to me. It straight up doesn't. Because having more people at home is less... I mean, it's kind of like the whole, which is more efficient, a bus or a car or a bunch of cars. The bus is more efficient. A single building holding everyone versus a bunch of small homes having to hold them all separately, that single building will be more efficient. So that doesn't make any sense to me. Except, again, you had things like warehouses and manufacturing closed down at the same time. So that would, again, have that kind of impact. Okay, so that would explain that. Like, industrial energy usage would go down. Consumer energy usage would go up. And just, yes, industrial energy usage is a lot. So that would do it. That would explain it. But it's still, I wouldn't start by saying, oh yeah, it's been going down 15... It's been flat for 15 years. Like, it was a weird claim. But there were other things in that one, like one article talking about micro LEDs, which was very interesting, very neat. But then they are showing an image of one where it's like, yes, these are millimeters in size. Wait, what? I was like, that's not micro. I mean, the image was actually referencing something 2 pages later. But they have it on the page where they're talking about how small it is, and next, and like, with... next to something with, yes, they are in fact micro LEDs. And it's like, yeah, it was very, very poorly constructed. Yeah, I really just did not like that thing. But yeah, this doesn't. As I said, the only thing that makes sense to me is perhaps it was just from loss of manufacturing stuff or manufacturing shutting down, that would cause those kinds of decreases. Yeah, so I guess in a certain extent, I was incorrect. I should not have reacted as I did to that one piece about the 15 years it's been flat. To be honest, looking at that graph, it basically has been flat for longer than that, is what it was showing there. It's just there are outliers that, like 2020 showed much lower. But there was also a trend at the start of it, which was late 90s, that was trending up, and then it flattened a little bit. So there would just be minor trends and outliers in there. Otherwise, that was very flat, which is just weird to me. Because, I mean, it's also, think about, like, today, we're seeing more and more server farms spinning up. Server farms take a huge lot of power. Because not only powering the servers, you're powering all the fans in the servers. You're powering larger cooling systems for the whole of the building. And then also you need all the network connections. I don't know, unless it is something like those are spinning up and basically taking over the energy use from manufacturing. With that decreasing in the US and going out other places. Could be. But yeah, that's only going to get worse with AI. And I think, was it last week I went on that rant about AI? And the energy usage there, and that it will be interesting when there is a crash there, that people realize, a lot of this is hype. Yeah, that will not be a fun time for a lot of people. It probably won't impact me or most normal people. But like if AI crashes, people realize, hey, this doesn't matter that much. It's not that valuable to us. Not on the multi-billion-dollar server farm kind of stuff. There will be companies that will fall. Or maybe not fall completely, but they will be damaged by it. They will be hurt. Anyway, blah 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 blah. It's probably what I've been saying for quite a while. But yeah, but coming back to the MIT thing, it still is. Don't focus on the soda can say. It's the pure aluminum. All right, so it's like you're jingling the soda cans in front of people to get their attention, but it's like, yeah, that's not what we're actually talking about. You're not throwing in soda cans, you're throwing in pure aluminum. That you might be able to recover. That's actually a better way to put it. You might be able to recover the pure aluminum from the cans. But that's not necessarily recycling. Like that's more involved than what most people think of for recycling. Because it is a whole thing. The better you can identify the specific alloy of material in recycling, the cheaper, the more efficient the recycling is. Because then you can make sure that all the same alloy are together. So you're having to get rid of the alloy. That's more involved than normal recycling. But there's that, and also the whole thing with caffeine. That was just really weirdly written, because it was emphasizing this component of caffeine. When it's caffeine, that really is the whole thing. So emphasis should be on the caffeine. And hey, there's this interesting bit that it's actually this portion of the caffeine, but it's not an active ingredient. I don't know why you would describe it that way. I mean, yeah. Anyway, I need to stop because I will just keep going. And this is already probably really boring for a lot of people. Me just going blah, 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 blah. I really am the adults, not the parents, but the adults in Peanuts. Anyway, see you next time.